Start recording. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, what's up, Twitch and YouTube? um, welcome to another community service art stream. This is Johnson Blackhorse, the one and only, and we'll be continuing where we left off with the lizards. But one thing I discovered over the weekend is uh, the Twitch videos I've been making. Every time, I guess, when my connection like stalls out, the video on Twitch will end. So each community service art stream I've been doing, like it keeps getting loaded in chunks. So shit, like keeping track of my hours like that is gonna be like friggin' hectic. Oh, there's my Lufferly Buns. Alistar Dreamer says honk. Good morning, Bibs. But yeah, like I was saying, like on Twitch, like my streams, my 4 hour streams keep getting loaded in chunks, and I don't want to keep track of my hours that way. But like I'll just have to add them up. But I think it was like four 4 hours on Monday, Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I was just like freaking crazy busy. Was it 3 hours on Thursday? Oh, I'm gonna have to look into it. But uh, aside from streaming on OBS, I'm just gonna have to start straight recording these videos too. So that's why I'm recording this one, and I'm gonna upload it to YouTube and just keep track of my hours that way. So anyway, let's get down to it. So this is where we left off on Tuesday or Wednesday, or was it Thursday? I can't remember. Here we got the gray lizard people, the Nashushbai Dene. Nashushbai Dene. I'm still. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Like it's close, I believe, but me not having like Navajo be my first language, it's so difficult. But anyway, um, here we have the turnaround for the gray lizard people. Here we have a few like poses, some face gestures. Here we have the old man lizard, grandpa lizard. And I'm gonna do like maybe a few faces for him because these are like all just gonna be like random lizards. They're all gonna have like some like variation to them, but for the most part they're just gonna be generally looking the same. Lisa McIntosh is in chat. He says, "Hey," and I say, "What's up, Iso?" Alstar says, "I need a Halloween art suit idea." Oh shit, that's right. It is fucking Halloween season. It's the time of year for all the spookiness. Get all the spooks. And this is just a reminder for myself, but I believe it was Iso McIntosh who donated some money um, to my coffee account. And for the next doodle stream, I'll be drawing doodling a Pandaren. Cute little panda character. So hopefully I'll get around to doing a doodle stream sometime in the near future. But man, fucking hell, I've been running myself ragged. Even today, I'm going to have to cut this community stream short because all this weekend I was helping my mom paint pottery because she had taken on a batch on her own, thinking that she could handle it like she used to. But I think she may have fumbled it because she took so long to paint it and get it done that I think the pottery guy that supplies us pottery is going to cut us off. He very well might have lost an account due to this batch of pottery taking so long. And I feel bad because like my mom thought she could handle it. She thought she could just jump right into it, and I probably like should have helped out a lot sooner. But shoulda, woulda, coulda. But like my schedule is my schedule isn't even my schedule anymore. It's like the courts don't think I'm doing at as much as I ought to be, but like in reality, like everything I'm expected to do around here, well, everything I've taken on doing around here and helping out my family is just fucking a lot. But the courts don't see it that way. I don't know if they're under the misconception that I'm living off my family, but that's nowhere near the case. It's like I do what I do to like pay my bills, but like fucking doing this community service is really digging into my financial resources because I don't live off my parents. Like my parents have a hard enough time like paying their own bills, and whatever money I do make, like it usually goes to helping buying groceries or supplies. Like hell, I even have to go out and buy a few bales of hay today because our horses are out of hay. I don't know if I should buy some more dog food. We got little dog food left, but like these really aren't my dogs, so I shouldn't have to be buying dog food for them. But I don't know. Like I think I'm gonna have to cut it off today at like just buying hay for the horses. But to do all this, like I have to drive, man, like over maybe round about 100 to like over 100 miles today. It's like I got to drive like an hour away to Blanding to go drop off the pottery and also pick up the free DVD that was offered to me for this community service specifically. And then I have to drive like another hour out of my way to go get not horses, hay for the horses. I could like buy the hay. I might be able to buy the hay in Blanding, but the hay over there is so expensive a lot of the time when it's available. But I don't know if there's really hay for sale. I'm not sure because we always buy hay from this place that's nestled deep in McElmo Canyon. That's between where I live and between the Ute Mountain, and still like fucking it's a long drive because it's down a windy road. Like on the map, it's not too far, but like these freaking tight, windy roads you have to drive, it like makes it like an hour-long drive. Sure, on a map, like someone could say, "Oh, it's just right there. You can make that trip in about 30 minutes." It's like, "Fuck you, I can. You fucking drive down that tight, windy road. Kiss my ass, dude. Think my life is so fucking easy. Get bent, man." Anyway, I'm just blowing up steam. Alstar says, Pout, remember I donated $40 to you, Dit? Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, that means the next doodle stream is reserved for Melody because she donated before ESO did. So the next doodle stream is dedicated to Melody. That's my bad. I should have mentioned something to Melody because she usually keeps track of this stuff for me. See, she's already a fucking awesome soulmate, best friend, confidant, comrade, compadre. Like I tell her like just about everything, and like she helps me keep track of. She helps me keep track of this stuff. and I love her for it. But yeah, like the next doodle stream is dedicated to her since she donated $40, like way like ahead of ESO. So I'm gonna have to do like two doodle streams, one after the other someday. Just like doodle like way late into the night. But yeah, I've got a full schedule today. Love you, Melody. I didn't mean to forget about you. You know how slippery my brains are. Alcer says, I don't mind though. ISO if you want to go first. Oh, ESO if you want to go first. ESO says, oh well, I bet the Pandaren will be worth the wait. Alcer says, I'm just being a brat. Love you, Melody. But hey, maybe I could do them both at the same time. Like dedicate like a large portion of the page to Alstar for the 40 she put in, and then uh, cut like a section for the Pandaren. I think we could work that out. All in all, though, concerning my probation, it's like the reentry court isn't like at the head of the whole thing. It's the federal district court, which is fucking in charge of like a lot of shit. They got more power than they do. So like to the local like reentry court, it's not all their deal. Like it's the fucking shitty ass federal district court bullshit, man. Well, fuck the man, dude. They should legalize weed, man, which I am totally down with. Because like fucking yeah, just fucking legalize it already. Shit. It's like my mom is like she's suffering a lot because of like all the painkillers that she's on. She's on like some heavy painkillers, and what some of them do is like they eat away the joints, and she's even lost like a couple of teeth because they like eat away like some of the jawbone and stuff like that. So it loosens your teeth, and like you fucking lose teeth, and she hates it. But she has had like medicinal marijuana before, like a long time ago. Someone had like given her some just to like see how it would do, and like it fucking perked her right up. Like there was no joint pain, there was no back pain, like all the pain just melted away, and she was like a lot more mobile, and like it was fucking awesome. So if they just legalize like marijuana here in Utah, like just fucking straight legalize, um, was it recreational marijuana? She could just go to any one of these shops that we have, like in the next state over, because an hour drive away in the next state is Cortez, Colorado, and they have like a few recreational marijuana shops. But since recreational marijuana isn't legal here in Utah, she can't purchase any of that in Cortez and bring it here. Otherwise, like fucking if we get caught with that shit, that's like transporting over state lines, and it'd be like a federal issue after that. And it's just like fucking bullshit. Like she's in a lot of pain. She takes a lot of pain meds, and it's like yeah, it takes care of the pain for like a little bit, but then like at the same time, it's a detriment to her organs and her joints. I mean, the Fed's got to give it up at some point. Like the war on drugs is like fucking you lost. like you dedicated this war on drugs like a long time ago, and it was fucking nonsensical. So get off your goddamn high horse, just legalize these natural substances, and fucking people who can benefit from them, let them benefit from them. Because my mom is one of them. Like, she would rather take medicinal marijuana than like keep taking the hard like painkillers that she's prescribed, because it's easier and it's safer for her in the long run. Because right now it's just eating her up inside, but she has no choice but to take it because of the fucking stupid federal system, man. Assholes. Issa McIntyre says, wait, no, let's stick to, just, oh, Alistair says, let Iso take the next spot before me. I prefer our two pieces to be done in tandem anyway. I, Issa McIntyre says, was gonna just do it, but I guess the state line thing is a big deal. Yeah, like, that's what happened to like this local guy who got caught with recreational weed. He was caught over here in Utah, and he kept trying to argue. He was like, but I bought it in I bought it in Cortez. He's like, no, man. Like, well, he was like saying like I bought it in Colorado. He's like, yeah, sure, but you can't bring that stuff to Utah. But he kept trying to argue, but I bought it in Colorado where it's legal. It's like, but it's not legal here, dude. It's not legal in Utah, and they fucking had to arrest him. And it's like, yeah, sure, it's a funny story in a sense because the guy just didn't get it, but at the same time, it just fucking sucks. It's like here, it's legal in like in one state, but in the neighboring state, you still get fucking tagged for it. It's bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit. Yeah. So if I was president, I'd make natural substances legal. I'd legalize all of it because, like, fucking why not? You can't criminalize nature, man. You can't criminalize God's green earth, dude. I'll just fucking run as a hippie, right? There's only one man I answer to, dude, and that's fucking God, man. I mean, like fucking God is like everywhere. He's in the weed. He's fucking in the shrooms. He's in the sky, dude. And when you fucking take a hit of fucking weed, like he's in you, man, because he's in the weed, and when you breathe it out, that's like fucking God, like right in the smoke, dude. Yeah, just fucking. Have you ever like fucking just sat back and tripped out with God, man? Cause that's what I do every day, man. Oh shit. Am I just like way too good at that? Maybe it's just because it's so early in the morning. Well, it's not that early, but I'm oversleeping too much. Today, like last night, I fell asleep around like 12:30, and I got my usual 3 hours of sleep, and I woke up at around like 4 or something. But it was just too damn cold to like get up and be productive because like my freaking like cabin is like an ice box in the morning. It's just way too cold. It's just way too cold to like start up the computer, sit at the laptop, and just start working on stuff. Like I maybe I should just tough it out just to see, but it's like way cold. I'd be shivering too much to be able to draw a straight line. But hey, chat, what do you guys think of my stoner voice? Does it sound legit? Does it sound like a real stoner voice? I'm trying to I'm trying to channel like Tommy Chong when I do it. Alstar says, can you ma take some peyote for aches and pains? Oh, can your ma take some peyote for aches and pains? Um, shoot, I don't know if we really ever use it for that. Like mostly, it's just kind of like there to like clear your mind. That's what I've always kind of used it for. Is just like whenever fucking stuff gets too much or gets too heavy, like I'll take some peyote just to just mellow out, take the edge off, and that's sort of what it does. Is like it like kind of clears your head because when I'm just like way too stressed out and start thinking of like freaking like bad things, like just really negative thoughts. Like I would take peyote and just like fucking mellow out. This is like when we first got the batch, but I can't really allow myself to like do that too much because then I'd be abusing it. But at the same time, like last when we first got it and we were cleaning peyote, we were just like eating the peyote and as we were cleaning it, like as we usually do. But then like a few days later, I had court. And I didn't think too much of it about it, but it was like one of those days where they were gonna test me. It was like, oh shoot, it was like a fucking UA. But I was already given like the go ahead. It's like, okay, you can go ahead and use this stuff because like we're not gonna tag you for it. I was like, all right, cool. So when I did the piss test, like it was coming up positive for like marijuana use, like slight marijuana use, like I guess there's a line indicator which comes up if you're clean, but if you're not, it won't appear. But that one time, like it was barely showing up, and the guy giving me the UA, the urinary analysis, he was like, "Have you smoked any marijuana any time at any time?" I was like, "No, I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana." He's like. And he's just kind of looking at the strip, just waiting for it. Like, okay, we'll just give it like maybe another few seconds. And we're sitting there waiting, and we're talking, chatting stuff. And he's looking at it again. He's like, "Are you sure you didn't like maybe have a little bit of weed?" It's like, "No, man." Like, but I was straight up with him. It's like I did have some peyote. It's like we got a batch of peyote, and like I had some of that recently because that's what we use for medicine traditionally. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." Well, does that look like the lines come in? It's like, yeah, it does kind of look like it. It's like, okay, yeah, you're good then. You're good. You're clean. It's like, oh, damn. So fucking peyote could be like the use of peyote, like for my people in my culture, could like bring up a false positive for weed. So after learning that, I like even when I get really stressed out, I don't bother using it, even though I probably should just to fucking get my mind back in back on keel. I just don't want to risk like making shit worse over a stupid false positive. Isa McIntyre says it's far out, man. My stoner impression. Alistair says as soon as he starts taking like Polly Shore, as soon as he starts like as soon as he starts talking like Polly Shore, that's when his stoner voice is either perfect or step beyond perfect. uh, I haven't channeled Polly Shore in like freaking years. I used to try to imitate his voice back when I was like a teen, watching like Polly Shore movies. I can't even remember like some of the lingo he would say. And Pauly Shore's stoner voice like had this certain cadence to it. I don't think I could mimic that. Tommy Chong is easier because like Tommy Chong has like this monotone voice, much like I do, or I have a monotone voice, much like Tommy Chong. So his stoner voice is easier to mimic. Darn dogs are barking at something. Uh,
Good. It sounds like they stopped. Very good.
I don't know if this is even. Oh, sometimes this line is just hard to see. What the? Oh, my keyboard is acting weird. It's like it's been maybe it still needs to warm up, but I've never heard about a keyboard needing to do that because it's not operating like as it should. Sometimes some keystrokes take some like several seconds to process. And even now when like holding shift to like draw the straight line, whoops, like I make a point and then like I hold shift and then it gives me this like man when I let go of shift, it's like I'm not even holding shift right now. That's not supposed to do that. So I have to tap shift again. Okay, now it's operating like it should. Like I'm holding shift and there's the line, and I let go of shift and it disappears. It's like, is my laptop too? Lisa Microtrust says, asked, is it a wireless keyboard? No, this is the keyboard like right on the laptop. And this morning I was having a hard time trying to type shit, and it just like fucking kept like several of the keystrokes kept stalling out, especially the D button. So I was trying to type out doodle, and it came out oodle, oodles, oodle, oodle, oodle. So I typed it again, thinking like, oh, I must have missed the keystroke on the D. So I made sure I was like Doodle, and then none of the D's popped up. And so like I hit D several times, and it wasn't like doing anything. And then I held D, and then I tried again, like typing D like doodle, and it just came out OOLE again. And then I just sat back and like waited, and then afterwards, like all these D's started popping up, just D D D D D D D D D D D D, just all the way down the line. It's like, whoa, what the hell, man? Um, Alistair says, "Are you sure you haven't accidentally activated sticky keys?" I don't think so. Like, I have those turned off because I hated all the notifications it was giving me. There's like something concerning about sticky keys. Like, it would pop up this window, like letting me know about sticky keys and what they want me to have these sticky keys do. It's like, no, just get out of here. So I went through my settings and found the sticky key function and just like deactivated it. I don't know if it got reactivated during like during an update or something. Issa McIntosh says, "Oh yeah, pressing Shift many times brings that damn sticky keys prompt by default." Yeah, like I shut that off like a long while ago because I hated like when I was doing like digital commissions and such, working on digital art. Like I'd have to press Shift at any given moment to use its use the functions that are present in many art programs. So that notification kept popping up. Is like, okay, I'm tired of this. So I went through and like found the sticky feature thing and I deactivated it. The battery is running low. There we go. Issa says, yeah, it's good to have accessibility options, but having it pop up when you press shift 5 times is annoying. Yeah, it is. Like, get the frick out of my face, man. I'm trying to draw here. I'm trying to make money. I don't care about your sticky keys. I would make your keys sticky. What the hell are you doing with your keys at night? You naughty little keyboard computer thing. Oh, I don't know what that voice is. Concerned parent voice? I don't know. Male Karen voice? The Kevin voice? Fucking Kyle, man. Uh, everyone has a fucking Kyle. It's like anything that can go wrong, like around Kyle, like it will go wrong. It's like fucking. It was like a bad day at work. You come in and like there are things in shambles, and people are just kind of like sitting around disappointed. And then you ask like, "What the hell happened?" And then all anyone has to say is just 2 words, or no, like 3 words. Fucking Kyle, man. And then you throw up your arms in disappointment and say, "Yeah, of course, fucking Kyle." And it's funny too, because like last night I heard like a pro revenge story about a guy who kept like someone kept stealing his lunches at the office he worked at, and it was like going on for years. So long so that like this guy even like went through a divorce. Like it wasn't like related to the whole like lunch stealing incident. It was just kind of one of those things that happens. But yeah, this guy's been through a lot, and like his lunches keep getting stolen. So he went through this elaborate plan, and he switched his lunch out with like an HR lady, and like he had been complaining to HR for who knows how long, and HR just did like minimal effort, and all they did was post a sign, more or less stating to like read the names on the lunches so you don't steal or mistakenly take someone else's lunch. And the guy's lunches kept getting stolen, of course. So he comes up with this elaborate plan, and it involves him like swapping his lunch out with the HR person's lunch, and then he waits in the stairwell like out of sight of the break room, but he can still hear everything. And then he hears the words like, "What the hell, Kyle? That's my lunch." He's like, "No, it's not." And so, like, fucking pro revenge, like HR person brings Kyle into their office, and then they bring the other dude into their office. It's like, "Hey, man, like, look, we know you've been up to some break room shenanigans, but all in all, thanks to you, we found the lunch thief, and he's been dealt with. But I guess like fucking Kyle, man, like he was up for a promotion or some sort, and it got freaking taken off the table indefinitely. So that was like it was funny because like fucking Kyle was like one of those things that me and Melody came up with. It's like, why is it when things go bad, it's always a fucking Kyle? um, let's see. Ismac says, also got to ask, have you spilled anything on the keyboard? Could explain key sticking. Nope, haven't spilled anything. Like I'm always careful, like to keep my coffee and my energy drinks away from my keyboard so I don't spill anything on them. And I think the only thing I spilt on them was like a long time ago. This was like maybe about a year ago. It was like I believe it was some coffee that I spilt on there. And I don't use like sweeteners or creamer in my coffee, so it was just straight coffee, and I don't think straight coffee like just gets sticky over time when it dries up. If it had some sweetener or sugar in it, like yeah, maybe, but fucking this was just straight black coffee. But that was a while ago. If anything were to happen, like it would have happened like shortly after that. But no, I haven't spilled anything on it. Issa McIntyre says, or maybe it's just a sign that it's time to get a mechanical keyboard like a true nerd. I have one. Well, not mechanical keyboard. It's a USB keyboard, but it's got like these like buttons. Like the keys just kind of like feel like they stick up way too high. It's like these keys are on like freaking stilts. It's weird, but I got it so I could type comfortably from like any position instead of having to sit at the keyboard. I could just like sit back and maybe even like recline or lay back as I type. I was going to type out my stories that way. Anyway, Alstar says maybe the membrane under the key is slightly out of alignment. Maybe. You know what? Like popping out this keyboard isn't that difficult. I just need like a small screwdriver. So I could just pop it out and like probably clean it sometime today. Oh shit, where's my phone? My mom's busy like putting finisher on the pottery we painted over the weekend. And when she's done with that, I'm gonna shut down this community service art stream and then deliver that pottery. It'll probably be the last batch we work on for a while because Pottery Dude is none too pleased with how long this batch took. Iso says, "Oh yeah, if you use a low-profile keyboard for a long time, then using full height keys feels weird at first." Yeah, it does. Oh shit. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, fucking Kyle. But anyway, as I was saying, like everyone has a fucking Kyle, man. Just It's just that one dude who finds a way to like screw up and mess up everybody's day. Okay, let's draw some hands and feet for these lizards. Okay. Alistair says Behawk is a flat keyer. Yes. Yes, I am. I got used to the flat keys. Lisa McIntosh also, personally, I find laptop keys fiddly to take off and put back in. This one actually isn't that difficult. I pulled up a YouTube tutorial about how to take it apart, and after doing it a few times, it's actually pretty easy. I could probably do it right now, but I don't have a screwdriver. I wonder if I can just do it with my. Ah, you know what? Never mind. I accidentally hit the escape key. It's like, yeah, no, maybe we should try this later. I almost got it off though. All I got to do is like get the corner, and then when the corner's out, the rest of the keyboard is easy to like kind of pop out. But I'll do it later when the when it's off. How did I draw these fingers over here? Oh, okay. Three fingies. I keep forgetting that it's Halloween season right now. It's like I've already gotten several reminders, like, oh yeah, it's freaking Halloween. Woo! And even just now, I was like, oh yeah, it's freaking Halloween. It's spooky season. I I gotta I want to do some Halloween themed stuff. Just nowadays, like I hardly have the time to do that. Oh, that's right. I could just ask like a client if they want to do some Halloween art. Baby loves honey buns. Do you want to do some Halloween artsy? Alstar says, so when do we develop the acid spitting brain leech version of this character? We don't. He's a very family friendly. He's very family friendly. Cartoons. And East McIntyre says, yeah. Alstar says, oh, you know I do. Oh, you know I do. My lovely buns is wanting to do some Halloween themed arts too. Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm wondering if I should make them more like claws because lizards tend to have like claws, or if I should keep them as like stumpy fingers. Hmm. Yeah, why not claws? I give them like short rounded claws. Because I think they look cool. Right now I can sort of feel it like any minute now, like my mom's gonna call and say that she's done with finishing the pots. we're putting the finisher on the pots. Like when we're done painting them, like the last step, which is what we saved for today because we were just so burnt out last night after painting pottery for the whole weekend. But the last step is to apply what is called Mog, MOG, and it's like a kind of like a glue based like finisher, and you apply it, and there's like different finishings you can apply. There's different sorts of Mog. There's like a high gloss, there's a semi gloss, and there's a matte. And we got the matte finish. So my mom's applying that right now, but I can sort of feel it like she's getting close to done or something. Well, she's probably done now. Like all that's left is to just like let them dry. But kind of gauging it mentally in my head, maybe she's like halfway done because she still has to sand the bottoms, sand the bottom of the pottery, and then Mod them. And it takes kind of like you got to go over them twice. First, you like Mod the top of the pottery, and once that dries, you can like flip them over and then Mod the bottom so they can dry in their own time and such. So she's probably halfway done by now. But yeah, I like the claws on these lizards. The claws look cool. I think they look cool. Lisa McIntyre says another artist I follow is big into Halloween or Octoberween, is so as he calls it. Lisa McIntyre says he plays spooky games and watches spooky vids while drawing. Nice. Alistair says I've got two Halloween awesome band inspired artsies. Sweet. I'm gonna have to check those later. Have you sent me a dupe? Someone sent me a dupe. Oh, this is Melody's response to me asking her about Halloween.
Oh, yun na.
Oh, I love it. Oh, you know. Mm. I just polished off the energy drink that I opened last night. Oh, God. Oh, my back. Oh. Yeah, I definitely tweaked my back working on my cabin. It's like filling these cinder blocks with cement is meant to like just make them more sturdier so I can have like a sturdy foundation or supports to like put under my cabin. And I opted for like um these big ass cinder blocks, which are like 8 by 16 by what is it, 12? Yeah, it's like a big cinder block which is 8 by 16 by 12. Regular cinder blocks are 8 by 8 by 16. And what I was going to do is just buy a bunch of those and put them side by side for like each point in the cabin where I plan to put supports. So there's going to be two side by side under my cabin door for like each time I needed them. But when I saw these big ass cinder blocks, I was like thinking like, you know what, this is probably cheaper. Like buying one of these is like cheaper than buying two cinder blocks. So I bought a bunch of them, like well whatever they had in stock. So they only had 8 of them. So I bought them and I brought them here. I filled Some of them with cement, and then when the cement set, like I tried to, uh, I carried it off. It's like the little. I put this makeshift platform together so they could sit level, and I could pour cement in them, and they could like dry in there, just like on a level surface. But like moving them off to the side, oh man, I they're fucking heavy, and I'm pretty sure I tweaked my back because right now, if I do anything too physical, like bending over, doing like maybe some squats or even sitting down for a long period of time, like I did yesterday with like, well, not yesterday, but the whole weekend, rather, just sitting down too long, which I did the whole weekend by just sitting there and painting pottery. Like my freaking back starts to ache like freaking crazy. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I tweaked my back a little bit. It's gonna take a while for it to feel better. Maybe the thumb should be out more. Yeah, that's the way to go. Hold on. Oh, bless me. Bless my stars. Mmm. Mmm. This morning, since it's the season, oh, I put some hot cocoa mix in my coffee, mixed it all up. So I have like a mocha a mocha latte with some marshmallows in it. Aster says Gesundheit. Thank you, love. My lovey love who loves to love. My lovey love who likes to love and also maim things. So when me and Melody take over the world, we're gonna torture and execute a lot of people. uh, Mostly me though, because I got a lot of grudges to fucking ungrudge. East Mechner says, I gotta try that with the hot cocoa mix and coffee. Oh my god. He's I don't want to oversell it, but I think it's delicious. He's fucking delicious, Mike. Alistair says, nice. Alistair says, death camps. Yes. Maybe one. I don't have grudges. I just love watching people die. Yes, I want to design like a modern day guillotine. It's like, yeah, sure, like it's a visually gruesome form of execution on like a spectator standpoint, but I believe it is the most humane way to execute a person. Because other forms of execution, like hangings, firing squad, electric chairs, all have like faults to them. Like sometimes it goes wrong, and even like lethal injections, like those have a tendency to go bad too. Sometimes the mixture isn't right. Sometimes the secret formula or the chemicals in the injection pumps aren't the right chemicals, and the guy's like strapped to the table isn't executed, but then fucking it was a sad story, man. Like this guy survived his lethal injection execution, and he tried to argue like in court, like get an appeal to like going through that incident was like punishment enough. But the courts were like, nah, we still want to kill you. So they got the right batch of chemicals and whatever, and like they tried again and were successful the next time. But as far as guillotine goes, like it's a simple mechanism. It's quick, precise, and it's not finite, but definitive. Yeah, not definitive. What's the word I'm looking for? Not finite. Not really. There was like a word that was sort of like that. Well, we'll just say quick, precise, and efficient. And the way I'm also thinking is that it's like it causes like less undue stress to the body after execution or like during execution, which then like the body could be harvested for body part donations or organ transplants. So the way I'm thinking, the guillotine is like the most efficient, clean, and painless way to go, and it also saves on like the waste of like a good like body parts and organs and such. So yeah, I'm thinking like in a way that like yeah, it might be visually gruesome, but it's also like more humane. And not only that, it's like you also like gain like organs for donations and transplants. It's fucking genius, I tell you. um, because like other forms of execution causes severe undue stress to the body, which then like you can't use those body parts for like an organ harvest or organ transplants for donations and such. Because I think that would be pretty efficient. Like considering like the executionee's body, you could like consider their like organs transplants or organ donations like consider it as their last form of repentance in a way. Though I think repent is a bad word because it has too much of a religious connotation to it. It's got to be like a uh, not rehabilitation. It's got to be like a form of like uh, remorse, regret, pity for their crimes, or something along those lines. but I don't want to use the word repentance because again, the religious connotations under it. But yeah, it could be considered their last act of um, societal recompense, I guess. Payback for like the crime that they had committed. But yeah, uh, let's see. Alistair says, or the Iron Maiden. No, love. We're going to be in the business of like organ transplants and donations. Ixamacontrol says, and yeah, USA not being able to humanely kill people is pretty stupid when guillotine was invented ages ago, right? I mean, freaking come on! There's like such an efficient, clean, and painless way to execute a person, and yet the USA like comes up with all these other forms of execution, which is like downright cruel at some points. Alistair says the guillotine is an absolute guarantee. Yes, I'll guarantee. Alistair says, just say what I'd say. Any last words, asswipe? Yes. Any last words, asswipe? I'm not sure if I'd be able to say it with a straight face. Any last words, asswipe? And then you press the button and you hear the huge gashink. Alistair says, if the guillotine can be seen actively being used in Tom and Jerry cartoons, it's automatically amazing in my book. Sorry, I always have like a kind of like a runny nose. I don't know when it started. Somewhere somewhere in my early to mid 20s, I just started getting like a regular runny nose. Like in my younger years and in my teens, it wasn't that much of a problem. Like I never really had it. But then somewhere in my 20s and mid 20s, like I always have to like blow my nose every so often. Not like a lot of times during the day, but like more than I used to. I got a text from the local clinic pharmacy. I guess my mom is like um, getting more of her prescriptions, which I'll have to pick up today too. So I got to drop off the pottery, pick up that free DVD for the community service I'm doing, get some hay, and pick up my mom's prescriptions. Oh man, it's gonna be a fucking big day. Alistair says if the guillotine can be seen actively being. Oh, I already read that. Sometimes I'll highlight a comment that I haven't read yet, and I highlighted the comic that was, or I highlighted the comment that was above that. What the heck? What the frick did I do? Oh, sweet. That was like a comic panel. That was a comic panel editor. It looked like. I don't even know how I freaking came to that option. Like, what is this? Frame border. Got it by hitting the U quick key, I guess. Man, that is cool. And I guess you like use these to make comic panels. Oh God, this. Even now, I'm like accidentally finding out new things about this freaking program. I'd get more in depth with it, but I use all my time to just do community service art streams and commission streams and just I really haven't even given myself time to play around with the animation portion of this program. But soon, eventually. Pardonnez-moi. But yeah, when I take over the world, but first I'd have to take over the US, which means I'd have to run for president. So when I become president, I want to hold all the crooked politicians, federal agents, federal employees, this including like judges, politicians, senators. I want to hold all of the crooked ones to account for all the freaking overbearing laws, strict regulations, and just like inhumane like bullshit that they're pretty much responsible for. Like, yeah, sure they can like argue that it's not inhumane because like fucking all the bullshit that I have to go through. God damn it. It just really sucks. And I understand how it eats away at some people and like some people fucking go nuts and either kill themselves or do something crazy to land them back in prison because fucking prison was easier than all the bullshit that I had to go through. And I've thought about it several times. Like, fucking going back to prison would be a lot easier than this. I could just fucking draw porn behind bars all day, every day, and just make a pretty decent living at it. But then I think about my family. Is like, that's nothing that my family would want for me. And it just fucking sucks because that's all I have to fall back on. Is like, yeah, like doing all this. Oh, well, like there's family, and now, and now there's Melody. Like, if I violate and go back to prison, which would be a lot easier, that would be hard on my family and Melody. And I don't want to leave them like that. Like, fucking, I don't want to have to chat with Melody behind bars. That'd be like a long, long wait for like letters and shit. But then, like, you know what? I understand where some of these people are coming from. And so when I take over the USA, become president, like I'll hold all these lawmakers, politicians, and federal agents to account for all the bullshit they're responsible for. And what's the word? Complicit when they're complicit with all this fucking heinous bullshit. Because let's face it, like looking at like a lot of these cases and like fucking hearing like secondhand from like the treatment counselor I'm going with, like I'm getting shit on way more than an actual child molester or rapist. It's like some of these guys, like they fucking just get off with like a few years probation, hardly any prison time, and sometimes they don't even freaking get charged at all. But here I am having to go through all this fucking bullshit and just like having lifetime restrictions slapped on me on the freaking get go. Now that pre-sentence investigator is definitely one I would literally like to have on the chopping block once I take over the USA, become president, change all these laws, and get that freaking guillotine in working order. Oh, but that is a long way off. And like that's a big if, like if it ever happens. But if it did ever happen, like that'd be like one of the first things I'd want to try to implement. Anyway, let's see. Um, There's like several. Okay. East McIntyre says, "Do you use in Clip Studio?" Yes. My darling Melody Luff Fluff bought me Clip Studio Paint. She bought me the pro version, but eventually we want to move up to the expert version. East McIntyre says, "Also, yeah, it's awesome finding some neat feature you didn't know about." Yes. Also says, "I'd have every one of them marched into an Auschwitz-style gas chamber." No, love. We're trying to save on organ harvest and transplants. Lisa McIntosh gives a long pause and says, "You guys are starting to slightly weird me out, and I enjoy gore art." Oh, well, that's weird because I don't enjoy gore art, but I love to dwell and ruminate on some of the aspects of like this whole world conquering venture that I sometimes like just think about. And yeah, just like to round up all the crooked politicians and just fucking make them account for all the bullshit that they're responsible for. I mean, like, people are literally dying for a lot of the policies that are in place. Like healthcare. It's like people aren't getting the proper healthcare they need because they just can't fucking afford it. Take my mom, for instance. It's like she's getting the best with what she can with like the healthcare system we have in place, especially on the reservation. We get like a lot of free healthcare, but if we weren't Navajo, like, and if we were like any other race, like the healthcare she would get would we wouldn't be able to get it because like it's just so goddamn expensive. And to think like people are weighing whether or not to eat, whether or not to like pay for the housing that they live in, or whether to like buy the life-saving medicine that they need. And all of these pharmaceutical companies are just like pocketing all that fucking blood money. And the politicians allow it because they get kickbacks from these freaking pharmaceutical companies. And I say fucking round them all up, hold them to account for all that bullshit. And maybe some of these like corporate CEOs need a strict talking to. And by strict talking to, I mean like fucking tossed out of their high-rise office buildings. I mean, it's just like freaking sad, like how people are just like dying left and right because of the all these like overbearing, strict, warrantless policies, and like no one really gives a shit because it's just part of everyday living now. And that's what sucks about the capitalist system. Like, I love capitalism. I love being able to earn money on my own blood, sweat, and tears. But the capitalist system that we have in place now, it's a form of corrupt capitalism where corporations are capitalizing on human lives, be it the pharmaceutical company, the the justice system, and the prison system. And there's just more to the sides of that, and it just fucking sucks. But it's allowed to happen because it's all part of day to day business, just to capitalize on human lives, capitalize on the weak, they capitalize on the sick, they capitalize on the poor. And like the only people who are making it in life here in America are just the rich, the corrupt, and the crooked. And that all needs to change. And as your president, President Johnston Blackhorse, I will make them pay. You have my word on that. I will make them pay. Come hell or high water. Also says, call it the political cleanser. Yes. Also says, we're scaring ESO. Also says, you can't harvest organs that are black and long since dead. Oh, oh, crass political humor. I love it. Lisa McIntosh says, sadly, from my understanding, Americans have weird, super big dislike on any form of socialism. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's like somehow they think like if we instill socialism, like everyone's money is going to get taken from them and just given straight to the poor. Whereas like fucking we already have like social programs in place. What we need is to have the rich and the like powerful like corporations up at the top pay their fair share in the American society. But for some reason, like fucking people think like socialism, oh, they're gonna take all our money. It's like, no, we don't want to. Well, let me speak for me. It's like and while empowered, like I don't want to take take any more from the Commonwealth than is already being taken from them. Like I say, like tax the lower income people less. Like we've got to tax the rich more. That's where I want to put socialism at, and like I have like a three-tier system in mind, where it's like I want to give capitalism back, put capitalism back into the hands of the people of this country. And I'm talking like the lower class to mid class people. Like give capitalism back to them. Like stop earning off of their freaking blood, their death, their illnesses, and start taxing more of the wealthy. Like fucking this is like this country is so bass backwards right now. Anyway, Alistair says, let me hold on. Asa McIntyre says, so many wouldn't root for free healthcare, especially since they would be paid with taxes. Yeah, like people don't want to adopt any form of um, social healthcare system that any other country has because they have a fear that oh, they're gonna take all my monies. But no, it's like the sensible thing to do is to tax the rich more than they're being taxed now. But like fucking, they keep getting these stupid ass tax breaks because of the stupid, dumbass trickle down economic system that everyone believes in. It's like, oh, if we give the rich more money, it'll eventually trickle down to the poor. But no, it's like they're pocketing a lot of that shit and they're buying themselves yachts and private planes. And it's like that's where all that money is going. Like the idea is that if you give the rich more money, they'll create more jobs by making their corporations or their companies bigger. And by doing that, they're supposed to be creating jobs for the lower class people, and that's how trickle down economics will eventually reach them. Because if we get the rich to spend more money, they'll be spending more money to pay these poor people to do stuff for them. But that's not the case because a lot of these rich assholes are just buying bigger houses, more mansions, multiple mansions, getting themselves fucking yachts and private air air jets and all this fucking expensive ass shit, and that's hardly creating more jobs for the American people. I mean, it's stupid. It's like this fucking trickle down economics shit has been a long con scam from the get go. I mean, it's stupid. Alistair says capitalism hates socialism until they want help. Yes, socialism in reverse for the rich. Alistair says trickle down economics don't work when someone's put a stopper in the faucet. Totally. It's just, I hate it. I hate it. So there are many people at the top that need to be accountable for all this nonsense. And why isn't my brush working? Okay, weird. Does my eraser work? My eraser works. Brush. Opacity. All right, that's all right. Amount of paint. Density. Oh, wait, no. That couldn't be it. I thought maybe I had a selection going. Maybe I just need a bigger brush. Nope. What color is my paint? Oh, shit! I have some sort of transparency thing down at the corner here. Right there. Bottom left corner. It's It's got the transparency selected instead of the actual paint. There we go. I don't know what that's all about. What does this do? What does this do? Oh, it's like a kind of like another eraser. That's weird. It's like I have an eraser and I have this. Okay, this is my eraser. This is the, I guess, the transparent paint does sort of the same thing, but it does it with the brush. Okay. Oh, I see. Because sometimes, like, I wish my eraser was more like my brush. So that's what that's for. Oh, oh, I'm discovering more stuff all the time. But how do I select that? Is that like a, is there a quick key option for that? Because all I know is like hitting X to swap colors. But is there a quick key to like select this transparency, like erasing brush? I wish there was. I must have hit the hotkey sometime during my rant, but I don't remember what it was. Huh. Anyway, cool. Um, Alistair says trickle down. Oh, I already read that. I already read that. So anyway, as I was saying, eviscerate the bourgeoisie and the top higher brass. That's right. This is a political rant. Fucking draw stream. Oh yeah, I'm drawing feet right now. I gotta draw feet. So come on, America, get behind me. Get behind Johnston Blackhorse. Johnston Blackhorse. Johnson Blackhorse for president. Let me give capitalism back to the people, and I'll execute every last motherfucking crooked politician in this fucking country. uh, that's gonna be a hard platform to run on, but I'll fucking run it, goddammit. Oh god, I'm not gonna get very many votes. Mm, 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 mm. You know, like I thought of a funny, tricky way to get some. Was it? What are they? I thought of a funny, tricky way to get some conservative votes, and that would be to market myself as someone as being for outlawing abortion. Like I'd go up there and like say that yeah, I want to criminalize and outlaw abortion. Let's get that done. And then once the conservatives give me more of a bigger platform and I start like talking to them more, like just be all for it. Like yeah, let's outlaw abortion, this and that, blah blah blah. Um, I'm for I'm pro life. I'm totally pro life. But then like when I get there, and then I pitch what I want to do, is like abortions aren't the key issue. It's unwanted pregnancies, right? So, in order to deal with unwanted pregnancies, we got to make, um, what was it? We got to enforce mandatory vasectomies. That's the only way. to get rid of abortions. Easton McIntosh says that's a bad idea. You would get canceled even more than now. No, hear me out. I mean, that's the core issue, isn't it? It's like people are so against abortions, like fucking pro-life, this and that. And the issue isn't abortion itself, it's the unwanted pregnancy. But how do you deal with an unwanted pregnancy? You nip it in the bud by mandating vasectomies. And then that'll cause all the politicians to go, "Whoa, hey, you can't do that. You can't control a man's body." It's like, well, like you're fucking doing the same thing by controlling a woman's body. I mean, what's the difference? Like, fucking put your money where your mouth is. Like getting a vasectomy is a lot more like safer and easier than doing like an abortion or getting a woman's tubes tied. So if you're so willing to mandate a woman's physical health and body, like why not mandate a man's body? I mean, it only makes sense. Easton McIntosh would say, would take like 5 minutes after saying that for people to contact everyone you may or may not know to demand them to distance from you. Who the fuck is this shit? Oh, it's like I have like little to no friends at all except for like Melody and some of the guys that are in my Discord. And you guys know me better than that. Like what would I care what anyone else thinks? Like when I start pushing for this policy. Issa Mack just says, by the way, while I did say I'm weirded out by the execution talk, I gotta say these cancel culture folks should go. Okay, I won't go that far. You know. I'd fucking I'd punch an SJW in the friggin' face if that'll get me votes. But yeah, like I'm saying, like this whole abortion issue shouldn't even be an issue. But if they want to keep pushing it, it's like fucking why not have these politicians just literally put their balls on the line? Because to deal with unwanted pregnancies, if they don't want to like discuss the matter of like or if they want to criminalize abortion, like let's get to the key root of the issue and like deal with the unwanted pregnancy topic itself and nix that from the whole equation by mandating vasectomies. I mean, it only fucking makes sense. And if they don't want to deal with that, then fucking stop talking about criminalizing abortions. Just fucking let people do what they want to do. I mean, if it's not your DNA, then it's not your fucking business. So get your nose out of other people's business and fucking fuck off, man. Either put your balls on the line or fucking shut up. That's it. You know, if someone wants to get an abortion, that's their own fucking business to deal with. That's nobody else's. But if you want to keep whining about it, just fucking man up and get a vasectomy. Shit. And if you want to someday eventually like have children, it's an easy process to undo. It's that simple. But if you don't want to go through all that, then that's when I tell these politicians just shut the fuck up. Because if it's not your DNA, it's not your business, and therefore not your problem. Get over it, man. Alstar, wait. Alstar says, I prefer a small, tightly knit group of compadres than a massive collection of faceless goons. Yes. Ismector says, yeah, but sadly that massive collection can cause you trouble even if you don't interact with them. Like I give a shit. I've been through fucking hell and back. If somebody wants to give me death threats, which they already have, they're free to do so. Because death threats are a bunch of talk until they become actions. And then when they become actions, I'm going to fucking rough up some people after that. But, like, fucking, I've dealt with those death threats head on. And then after fucking chatting them with after a while and giving them an earful. Like I don't get as many death threats as I used to. I I don't remember the last time I've gotten a death threat. Like the death threats, like the majority of death threats I dealt with were like right after I got out of prison. But then afterwards, they all fucked off. But at the same time, you know what? Like I'm not allowed to visit some of these websites, like DeviantArt and like all these other art forms. So I might still be getting death threats, but it's just places that I can't visit right now. I'm sure they might still be there, but I ain't around to hear it. And no one's fucking manned up enough to like give me a death threat on my blog or send me a death threat via email. Like that hasn't happened in a long time. But yeah, like I usually deal with it. Just fucking talk them down. Well, not talk them down politely, but fucking throw shit at them. You know, like fucking hey, if you want to come kill me, then fucking come kill me. Shit, go for it, dude. But so far there have been no takers, and after confronting them like that, they usually back down. Alistair says Mel Brooks had the right idea in Robin Hood Men in Tights with his dick-sized kid. Oh God. Issa Extra says sites like Twitch, for example, can ban people for wrong opinions if enough people complain. Oh, like what opinion do I have? My opinion is that fucking people should have the right to abortions if they need them, and people who are against abortions just need to shut the fuck up. That's my freedom of speech. That's my opinion. East says threats are no biggie, but getting banned from sites like Twitch and Coffee is. Yeah, but like fucking, I don't do the things on Twitch and Coffee um, that would get me banned from those sites. I don't know what happened. Well, with Patreon, like I did have like some uh, lewd-ish lowly material, but I don't think it was enough to really ban me. Like some of them got removed by the site itself, but I think there was like enough people complaining about lewd art that eventually got me banned. But right now, like all I'm doing is just drawing funny cartoons and just saying a lot of political talk. Now, like from what I'm saying, they're not like threats, like by a long shot. Like these are all suppositions. Because what I'm saying is like all in like theory, like oh, if I become president, when I take over the world, if that ever happens, if this and if that, and then along with that, there's just like a whole lot of my political opinions. But for the most part, it's just supposition. It, these aren't things that I can like take a literal like or actionable standpoint on. Because let's face it, I have no power in the situation that I'm in. All I have the power of is just fucking talking about what I'm thinking. Do, 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 do. Ace Mector said, and Patreon stance is that if you do things they don't like outside of Patreon, you need to stop or get banned. It's such a stupid situation. Yeah, but I think you're just worrying too much about it. And all in all, we're just more or less having fun, having like a political chat. But it's like just more of me having a political rant. But don't get too worked up about cancel culture and all that shit. Just a bunch of whiny pissants wanting something to complain about and feeling some iota of power in their powerless world, just complaining to try to cancel somebody when instead they could be rallying to do something legitimately um, what's the word, legitimately effective in the world. Not effective, like something with a positive outcome. um, well, I guess like they could expend all that energy to just actually do some good in the world, like policy changes and whatever. But no, instead they want to fucking expand all their energy and whine about censorship. You know, just like, oh, you can't say this, you can't show that. If you do, it hurts my feelings, and I want to argue for other people's feelings because our sensibilities are so fragile. You know what? That makes me mad. Ah, oh, okay, Eso, that's enough of this whole friggin' SJW. Like, worrying about SJW feelings. That's not what we're all about. People saying they don't censor people, yet they ruin people's ability to make a living for opinions. Yeah, I've seen so many stupid cancel culture events. I'm over worried about it, and also all the trouble artists who do Lily have. Yeah, like let's stop worrying about SJW feelings and just fucking have like a nice, good, decent talk and just like let me rant about shit that I want to rant about, because sometimes just let me rant about it just like makes me feel better about my situation. I don't want to have to worry about every freaking word I say, like thinking like, oh, so if some SJW hears about my stance on abortion or my stance on social economics or economics in general. Like I'm worried that they'll cancel me, so I gotta keep my big mouth shut because I don't want to offend people. Fuck that shit, man. Like fucking some of these things just need to be said, and that's why like a lot of shit is just going to pot the way it is. Because people don't want to have discussions about it anymore because they're afraid of like being canceled. They're afraid of like losing their friends. They're afraid about death threats. I don't want people threatening my life. I don't want them throwing words at me